10 seconds.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the View from a Dead Box. We have had an eventful weekend.
We have had an eventful weekend. That
We had
is facts.
Some traveling. I'm about tired of fucking traveling.
You want to talk about that? How about that fucking drive, though? Was
The-
that the
up there.
worst drive ever up there?
Yeah, and you know what the sucks is that event was supposed to be the closest. The
Took 5
CPSL, huh?
Took 5 hours.
Oh, yeah, it was like five. We left at 4:30, 4:45. We didn't get there until 10. We stopped in bullshit at Cookout and got shakes and talked about that lady that got ran to the back of the car that you were in jury duty for, that you got paid $37 a day for.
Yeah, that's fun stuff. Dude, it pisses me off like no other. It was literally Thursday when I was at the Fed. I said, "Do you guys want to go make real money this week, or are we coming back tomorrow?" And they're like, "We're still undecided." I'm like, "You have got to be fucking kidding me!"
$30 a day, baby. Big smackaroos, you know?
Big spender. I wish I had the fucking card with me.
I think I literally eat more than that at work.
Yeah, you probably do, because I see your fucking food you send.
Yeah, I definitely eat more than $30 a day at work. Like, not even a fucking joke.
Yeah. And they give us this bullshit like debit card. It looks like a gift card, like a Visa gift card, but it literally says court funds on it. And I'm like, I don't. Yeah, they preload it. And I like, it's almost embarrassing to use because it looks like something like, because they use stuff like similar to that in like prisons.
Oh, really?
So it's like if it had my face on it, it would look identical to the ones they use for people in prisons. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to use
loading up my books. Loading up my books. God.
But yeah, I mean, I left at 5:00, and I came from downtown Savannah, and it's like I went over the big bridge, was texting you, and then I was like, God, this is stop and go traffic like from there, and it was like, South Carolina roads suck anyway. There are only 2 lanes on the interstate, so that's the problem.
Yeah.
But it's like, fuck, and I ended up catching up to you just because it was bumper to bumper traffic, and then.
But the weird thing is there was no there's traffic. There was no accidents. There weren't like dead bodies. There weren't like cars like stopped. There weren't like cops. There was literally just people slowing down and then speeding up. Yep. And then slowing down and then speeding up the whole way up the fucking road.
Yep.
So it made the closest tournament of the season the furthest one away. Yep. It went from 3.5 hour drive, which I was looking forward to a 5.5 hour drive.
Yep.
I'm like, this is fucking wild.
Yep.
I don't understand. Didn't make any sense.
No, I don't know. That was like, I was going up there. I was like, this already sucks. Like, this has annoyed me. Like, and I was already a little annoyed, but I was like, what in the flying fuck?
Well, I am happy that I was expecting that hurricane or whatever it was about the time to be there when we were playing and like just starting to leave. So I expected to get shit on a little bit, and it actually moved away the night of and we were like chasing it all the way up.
Basically, yeah.
So we definitely got lucky there, which I'm happy for. But
yeah,
good weekend though.
It was a good weekend. Look at all that shit behind you. All those
Oh yeah, those are the ones I haven't thrown away yet.
Oh, those are the ones you haven't thrown away. Are those the updated ones from this weekend?
Some of them are. Some of them are more. It's like a.
For those of y'all that are just listening, he's got some of the trophies from the. Well, we won 2 trophies this weekend. Our D4 line took 2nd place, and our D5 line took 3rd place.
Yep, D5 X Ball.
Now I will say this. I looked at. I think I told Brantley this because he guessed it with us. I almost
shout out to him.
Shout out to him
coming in clutch the last day.
Yeah, that's a
huge deal because we were short a body because one of our guys are dog shit and didn't let us know that he was not going to be there until the day prior to the event. Honestly, and which is super fun. I was only going to run a 7-man, and I don't really consider a 7-man roster a skeleton crew if you have the correct pit. Crew, I think 7's fine. If you have 7 like athletic guys, I think it's perfectly fine. Hell, the Russians do it with 6, and they play 5 times more than we do, right?
Yeah.
So I think 7 is good with a full pit crew. So I was fine running 7, and when Dick Breath backed out, that puts it 6. And you haven't really not shitting on you, but you haven't practiced in probably 2 months.
It was 4 or 5 weeks. Like I literally went back.
It has to be more than that because the last time you were at the field, you were coaching her team both times.
Well, I played. There's a weekend before that, but it was like 2 weekends prior to the MVPS or something, which was 5 weeks from Sunday or something. I went back and looked at a calendar with Jamie because me and him were both curious that morning.
Yeah.
There, because I told him, I was like, dude, it's been a while. Like I was like, I could be very rusty. I was like, and the whole way up there, that's what I was thinking because I didn't know you had picked up Brantley. And I just
didn't say anything. I was gonna let it flit, like let it ride. Like I trust Brantley.
Oh, I did too. I was just in my mind. I
wasn't gonna tell anybody until he got there and he showed it up. I wasn't gonna let everybody think that we were just playing a 6-body crew. You know, they could have looked at the roster and told. You know, but so he got there and I messaged him. And you know the fucked up thing was he was actually here with family in Hilton Head, and he just traveled back home.
Oh.
As he got to his house, I talked to him. And he said, I just got home 2 hours ago. He's like, let me see who has my gear. Because he hasn't played since Philly because he took the week off.
Okay.
Week off. So I think his gear was still with Tyler. So he's like, I think he still has most of my gear. Let me see if he has it. He's going to be there. And then he's like, yeah, he has it. So I guess he either got it or they took it there for him. But I was like, all right, cool. And he's like, you need me? I'm like, yes. So like, we definitely need you. Ponied up. And came through, played some really good points. And we never have played an event together, and we honestly have never even practiced together. But I think I played a few points with him, like when we were just throwing bodies on a field. But it's not like we practiced together. We practiced against each other a whole bunch. And I know how he plays. You know how much we play, so it's fine. And as long as you're not a fucking idiot, you can typically blend in with most teams. And we're pretty diverse as far as all of our play goes. So me and Jamie can play kind of both sides pretty well. Frank really only plays the snake, but which by the way,
I texted him today. Frank
balled out.
Frank played. You said he played his best round. He definitely played one of his best.
Nah, that's the best, hands down.
I mean, I
can't remember another event that he played better than that. You know what? The only event that I told Jamie this morning, the only event I think he played better in was the one we won in Jacksonville, and that was a long ladder snake. And I'm not sure if that was as much on him as it was me and him working together, because he always tells me, he's like, dude, if I get in the snake, please make sure you're pushing the Dorito side to get the pressure off me. And that was a long ladder snake in that one. And that was the event where I was literally taking the 300 every fucking game on the break, and that had the super long ass Dorito side all perfectly aligned all the way down. And I was able just to fly. He'd go in and I would be in the 300 already. They'd turn guns on me. He'd load the snake. They would get off me for a second, go to him, and I'd fucking be in the 400 or 500 like instantly. And they'd switch back over to me. He'd be in the fucking Viper, shoot one or two of them. And then I'd come by. It was just all day. And then nobody would stop it. Nobody had a fucking answer for it. Like they knew what we were doing and they just literally couldn't stop it. And he played this. And you know what the funny thing is we went and played a lot of these teams. And this is what I was worried about. They chose to play the Philly layout, which I talked to Scuba and Andy about it, both the guys that run the CPSL, and I did not agree with them going over and choosing to play the Philly layout. And they told the group that, like the whole page, they were going to keep the Philly layout. When did we talk about this the other podcast we had? I'm not really sure after Philly, but either way. They put out that they were going to play the Philly layout. They said, we're going to play the Philly layout. And they said this while I was in Philly playing. And in my head, I'm like, man, fuck, dude. I'm like, we're playing this series because it's a blind layout and we don't have to worry about practicing layouts. We can just play open play. Yeah. So I was already kind of pissed off of that. And I wrote a fucking kind of a little shitty comment on there. But listen, it had like 25 likes. In like comments and reactions, so it had a fuck ton of like shit with it. So apparently I wasn't the only one thinking that, and a lot of people were behind me and backing me on that. So I'm like, and this is what I said. I was like, listen, it's not as much as you being lazy and not wanting to design a layout, but you said it's blind layouts. Check it out. If you wanted to run the Philly layout, why not just not tell anybody what layout it is, and then when we get to the event, surprise, it's Philly's layout. I would have felt better in my head about that. And then anybody who's played the Philly layout, they're like, fuck, we know what this layout is. We got the advantage, boys. They feel better than themselves. And he told me The reason they did it in Scuba, so they had a Kappa's meeting, and I knew it was directed right towards me. I didn't tell you guys at the meeting.
Well, you told me you didn't. Yeah, you told me later on in the day.
Yeah, that he directed it right towards me. And I'd walk right up. I mean, me and Scuba are cool like that. I walked right up after the meeting. I said, "Hey, listen, I know you're talking about me. You're not going to single me out. I understand that." But I said, you see when I wrote. He said, "Yeah, I just don't have time to go back and forth on Facebook." I said, "Well, I wasn't looking for a back and forth. I was saying my fucking piece so everybody knows how I feel, and that's how I've always been." He's like, "Yeah, no, I respect it." And he says the only reason they did that was because the event was so close to Philly. They were lacking about 5 to 6 teams to fill the whole entire division. Yeah. So they figured if they kept the Philly layout, and some of the teams that played Philly would feel comfortable coming back and playing the CPSL so close because they've been practicing on that layout. And I said, I understand, but you kind of got to go with what you said from the beginning.
Yep.
So, so we kind of had it out like that, and he understood, he knew where I was coming from, and he's a grown ass fucking man.
Oh, yeah.
So he understands what we're talking about. So cleared it up, and he's professional all weekend. We had 0 issues.
Yeah.
Helped us out plenty of times. So yeah, start the event off. I was kind of worried because a lot of these teams, like a lot of the clutch teams, have a lot of crisis guys on them, and those dudes have been practicing that fucking layout for 4 or 5 weeks, maybe. So I know Davies and them boys have been playing that layout for 4 or 5 weeks easily. You know what I mean? So, and those guys that all practice up at Rock Hill have been playing that layout like a motherfucker because that's what they're going to have for all the crisis lines.
Yep.
So even if you're not on a crisis line or a clutch line, if you go to those fields to practice, you're going to be practicing on that Philly layout. So and our guys, the only people who had spins on that layout were me. Or at the time, it was just going to be me, and then I brung in Dick, to play because he played with me in Philly. So I brung him in, and then when I picked up Brantley, I'm like, all right, well, Brantley got some spins in this layout. At least we have a little more knowledge. But the other 4 you guys you've never even seen the fucking layout. Had no clue how it even plays.
Only thing we saw was, I know, thankfully, and I think this helped, Jamie did as well as me, we watched a shit ton of it. But we're also watching the pro guys play, and they might push the aggression somewhere where a divisional guy is not going to push aggression at. That was my concern, but...
Yeah, so kind of go into that, I was just... felt like we had a disadvantage, but after our first match, it was a little bit shaky because we played.
Whoa! Like first match, or like the first real match? So our second match.
What was it?
Remember our first match was KMA, and they had to forfeit.
Oh, true. Yeah. So for guys that are listening, KMA, I've known KMA forever. Yeah. Me and John put together a team a long time ago called KMA Xtreme. And we kind of had like the best of both worlds from each line. Well, me and John have known each other for probably 15 years, forever, maybe. Yeah. And he gets to the event, and I see Justin Taylor, and he's in a boot, and I'm like, what the fuck? We're all kind of
on over.
Yeah, we're all kind of somewhat. We have first match of the day, 7:45, so we're there like 6:15, and we're all getting ready, and Justin's not, and he comes over in a boot, and he's like, hey, there's a slight possibility that we might be forfeiting. And I'm like, why? I assume he has more guys.
Yeah.
He's like, well, we only have 4 people. I would be the 5th, but we're still waiting on one more show, and he's still like 2 hours out.
Yeah.
I said, all right, well, let me know how this goes, so I know what to do. Because if not, it's a forfeit, but we don't play until 9. So I don't want to gear up. I don't want to pot up. I don't want to do none of that shit. So they do decide to take the forfeit. I go and kind of talk to Scuba a little bit to get the entry fee pushed for the next event. And I was kind of talking to them about, what we can do. And thankfully they did actually waive their entry fee and push it to the next event for them, which is really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Because technically they don't have to, right?
Yeah, they don't have to.
You know what I mean? So
it's good business too, but you don't have to.
Very good business, and it's professional to do so, especially when it's not like they didn't show up. Like the 404 pussies, they didn't show up.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Now, you didn't show up at all.
You didn't show up.
So it's kind of shit. Now, KMA were all there. They were all there, and most of them were geared up, and they were ready to run the fucking 5.
Yep.
And listen, power to that. And they actually ended up helping us out because Justin's like, hey, we got 20 pre-ordered cases. We had none pre-ordered. I don't like the way they do the pre-order here. It's fucking bullshit. At least SPL and MVPS, when you pre-order paint, if you pre-order, I think like 10 cases, it locks you in for the pre-order price for the entire event or for your entire camp. They don't do that at the fucking CPSL. When you pre-order paint, if you think you're gonna shoot 46 cases, you have to pre-order 46 cases. And guess what? If you don't shoot 46 cases, you will take every single case with you that you pre-ordered. Yep. So you only shot 18, you got knocked out, not even going on the ochos or quarters. You take the other fucking 28 with you. That's how it works, which is fucking bullshit.
I agree.
But anyways, so that we actually bought the paint from KMA, which we have to probably pay in the night. We bought the paint from KMA. They gave us the 20s. That kind of helped us out. And then we moved on. But God, our first match was a little bit shaky.
Yeah.
I don't know who we played.
I don't remember. I was trying to pull up our stuff, but it's not in APPA.
Like, yeah, because schedules so dope. But as a team, we probably should have fucking 4-0'd. Like,
yeah,
not talking shit to them, but I don't think they've done too well in the last couple events they've had. So we definitely probably should have steamrolled them. Carolina
Static. Yep.
Mm-hmm. I went to the whole list and looked.
Yeah,
so they took 17th out of 21, and so technically they took, or 16 out of 21, but they actually took 16 out of 19 is what you would look at it, because KMA and 404 didn't play. So we should have fucking 4-0'd them, and we 2-2'd them. We tied, or no?
We beat them. We didn't lose any matches. Yeah, I think we 3-2'd them.
3-2. Yeah, we beat them. That's right. You're right. Sorry. I was thinking of her first match. They
tied. Yeah.
Yeah. So we barely beat them, and I'm like, fuck, man. I kind of expected to steamroll those dudes because I already watched them play that morning. They didn't look crazy hot.
Yeah.
So, in the next event, we kind of fixed our problems, and we kind of have a game plan locked in. The communication was locked in, and we started kind of just fucking steamrolling at that point.
Yep.
My knee really fucking bad in that first match. On the grass field, it was still kind of like, not like muddy, but like had some mucky spots down in it.
Yeah, it's like clay, so it's weird when it's wet. But it was so. Just while we're on this field for a second, I'm saying the bottom field. It's turf field and the grass field. The bottom field is what I refer to as the grass field. When we played there back in March, it was way worse than what it was this week.
Yes,
it was. I could play on that field I would have been fine if everything had been on that field. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. As a whole, it was
Frank, not so much.
Frank
did not want to play that.
No,
which I understand.
I get what he's doing, but you would have been fine probably playing on the grass field too. You'd have been like, yeah, but it really only sucks the snake guys. But yeah.
So
I just know we harped on them a lot for that field.
But there's a little divot, like kind of like a little bump in the ground, and when I went 300 to 400 early in the game, I fucking left like a hip slide, and my foot kind of went like into the hole a little bit and twisted, and my body kept moving, and my knee was like, nah, cause like the bus stop's here. So it like popped, and I leaned back and sat on it. Yeah, I thought it was my ankle, right? Yeah, like Statesboro. And I sat down on it to stretch it out, and then it was fine. But if I pushed it really hard for like 2 points, I can feel it like throbbing, like hurting. So I'm like, this is gonna be first match of the day. When we played, I'm like, this is gonna be great.
Yeah,
can't wait to go on.
Yeah, and I know you didn't say anything until fucking earlier today.
I wasn't gonna say anything, and Brantley's like, dude, he's like, I was only trying to play like 75% of the points, if that. And then Brantley kept saying, dude, let's get you some spins. And I'm playing it off. I'm like, well, I've already have enough spins in this layout. Like, I want our other guys who don't have spins to get as much field time as they can. So when we go deep in the finals, they know this field well. He's like, oh, yeah, okay. I'm like, whew, oh, thank God.
He bought that.
I'm like just trying not to play as much as I could, and then if we needed it or it was a close point, I'm like, all right, I'm out there. Like, or we're up a point and we have to burn some time, or, we need to make a special play, so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you probably played 12 points total. I played 8. So you didn't play much more than me. Like, we did what we did the last CPSL, basically. Like, they were winning.
Yes. Yeah, so I kind of just kept the main 5 on the field, and I would usually sit the first 2 points, depending on, unless we lost the first point, then I would step on. But if we won, I would run them again, and then I would always come on the next 2 points. And then the time was almost ending, so I would usually either play the third point and just run the timeout, usually on the 5th. But yeah, I would always try to hit the first 2 points and then let the guys. And another thing is I like, and I was telling Brantley this too, about towards the end of the day, like the last three or four matches we had, I really like not to play because everybody knows who the fuck I am and they expect me to play a certain way. And if I'm not in the field, they really don't know how to play our team. Because if talking to other guys, they kind of change their game plan up if they see certain people do certain things. Like, they know this snake guy does this and this Druid guy does this, and now we're gonna put 2 guns here and then only 1 gun here. If they're playing against so and so, or they have game plans. But if I'm not out there, they're kind of like, well, they're a little bit different. So I play, if I can afford not to play 2 points and you guys can get up by 2, then I come on the field and they're fucking gassed and they have to try to figure out like, well, he wasn't in the first 2 points. What are they going to do now? And then me and Jamie just fucking fly down the goddamn field and, fucking bust their heads. It's a whole different look. I told Brantley, I'm like, if you guys can play without me for a point or 2, to start every match off, that fucks their coach up because they're coaching for me typically. Not that I'm the best player in the world, but they typically go, hey, we're just gonna contain the guy the whole entire time. And then pray to God that Frank doesn't come behind us and shoot us in the back. Well, guess what? They kept containing me, and then Frank was getting the fucking snake and busting their fucking head open. And I'm like, and I look back and see a kill walking off, and then the guns would come off me. I'm like, thank God, and go around down the field. I'm like, this is great. Like when you have a snake side doing work, it's like it's amazing. Yeah, it's the best thing in the world.
So after the grass sale, we hop onto the Plain Mayhem.
Mayhem. I think we.
Oh, I totally just lost him. Great. So let's see if I can get him back in this motherfucker. I don't know. I didn't drop. I kept rolling.
You were frozen on my side, so I don't know. And mine was responding, so I don't understand.
Weird. So yeah, as we were saying, I don't know if I'll make a cut there or not. I was trying to bullshit and talk, but I might cut us back in. So anyway, we're moving on to
Myrtle Beach Mayhem.
Myrtle Beach Mayhem, yep.
I think we 4-0 those guys.
I think we 4-0 them, yeah. I mean, like we said, Frank played so fucking good. He would go dive up into what we were calling the snake, crawl to the Viper, and he would just slowly pie the field. And he'd pick one guy off, he might pull some guns, and then he'd pick someone off again, and then he'd go trade out with a guy. Or he'd kill one guy and go trade out with the second guy. And I'm like, Frank's getting 2 kills each time, and no one's stopping him.
Or he'd shoot one and they come and try to trade with him. His gun's up and he shoots one. I'll take that all day. If my 1 can kill your 1 and your 2 and blow that whole side open, I'm taking that all day.
Yep. Because then Crow was hopping in the snake and just cleaning it up for Frank. Like that's all he had to do. Gave him.
Yeah, he's like, this is great. Because he was the attacker in Philly every point. So to him to play the 2, he's like, man, this is a lot easier.
Yeah, he's like, I can save my legs.
Yeah. So it was good.
So then we go on to play Clutch Purple, which should have been our hardest match of the day.
Yeah, they were steamrolling everybody. They actually played the same team. They 4-0'd fucking Carolina Static. So we were kind of like, okay, well, shit. And then 4-0 Myrtle Beach Mayhem.
Yep.
And then it came to we were in the last match. So I'm like, well, I guess we'll see how this goes. And we didn't play him any different. We didn't key up on anybody really. We just played it on the game plan. And I think by the time we played them, we started to learn the field a little bit more and got a little more confident. And then kind of learned how to control the snake a lot better because we really didn't lose any points from guys coming into the snake.
No.
And a lot of guys who lost games lost because they let guys in the snake and come around.
Yep.
And the games that I sat and watched, it looked like Crow was kind of keying up on Matt as well as he could and just either containing him and the whiskey of the god and holding him there and then forcing him to gunfight out of the god while Frank was up in the fucking Viper doing as much work as he could. And in the games
I think we started getting a kill off break. Not every point, but it was like once every 2 we were picking off a snake guy later on too. So it was like we're not losing our snake guy, and then we're getting a kill off that snake side of the field as well. So it's again.
I know we killed the alpha I think once, and maybe somebody on the snake side once.
Yeah.
So it was fine because that's also the match that I think I had me and Jamie played, and I think that's the video they put. His
wife posted.
Yeah, there was I think Ian maybe was on the field at the time. He was in the ice on the far left snake side. There was a 100 and a 400, and it was like a 4-on-3 for us. And we sat there for like 40 seconds, and I ended up just having Jamie pick up the zone, and I just ran down the highway like inside, dunked 400, turned, dunked the 100, and then I got shot by the snake side, which I didn't care. I'm taking my 2 for 1 body and blowing the whole side up in all time. But a couple times, like, I felt like we got a lot of run throughs on the way they were setting their like zones up. I feel like they were maybe dropping their zones a little bit early on certain stages, and we were able to sneak by them. And then they would adjust, but then they're kind of at that point they're playing on their heels a little bit. And then I always feel like if you get pushed and you play on your heels, if you and the other guy are like, let's say always a 50% chance of you killing him, like you guys are the even player, and he shoots you once, you shoot him once, back and forth. If he pushes you in an uncomfortable position where you're playing off your heels, he gets at like a 75-25 on you. Well, he's going to kill you 75% of the chance. And I'm taking his odds, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think we 4-0'd them, maybe.
I believe we 4-0'd them, yeah.
So we move on. There was no buys.
No buys.
Moved on to straight to quarters.
And then
we played... Who we play? Is it them again?
I can't.
No, it was somebody before them, right?
Yeah, no, we played them for like going to finals.
Yeah, he's played them in semis.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know who we played.
No, I can't pull up anything on here either.
Who knows? I'm gonna bring it up this way. So no moving in there. I was starting to get pissed off at the fucking paint because the paint was shit.
Yeah, but I think we 4-0'd that team as well.
Razorbacks. Is it Razorbacks?
I think so. I think we might have 4-0'd them.
Yeah, I know. No, we didn't. We got up a point, and then we sat in our guns and locked the zones down and ran the last 40 seconds to clock out.
Okay.
So I think we had like kill 3 early, and we just sat and didn't push it and just let the clock burn. I think at least.
So that put us in the semis.
Clutch Purple again.
Yep.
Which I didn't really want to do because I know they're a strong team and they have a lot of scouts and stuff. And I was actually talking to Ian today, and he was like, I was talking to him, about just people that happened to be at the event that we were talking about, the same person. And he was like, it's like, we scouted you guys really good. He's like, we knew what you were going to do. He's like, we just couldn't fucking stop you guys. He's like, we knew what you were going to do. We knew which way you were shooting. It's like, we knew what the game plans were. And I was like, well, you really didn't have a bunch of game plans. We only had about 2 or 3. And I'm like, I told the guys, like, we're just going to run this until the fucking wheels come off. Like, and we're going to run this until somebody stops it. And, really, nobody ever really stopped it. I mean,
nope, not all day.
It's a pretty cut and dry game plan. Even going into the finals, we were perfectly fine. So played clutch again. I think we got up a point. They got up a point. So it was 1-1. Yeah. And I think I played most of all that match, and then they actually put in Tyler, Matt's brother, who hasn't played all day, who's a very, I don't use the word underrated, but I don't think he played because he was there in case somebody got hurt.
Yeah.
And I think they were getting fucking gassed. Yes. So when they got to him, and then they had an injury or 2, and they were getting kind of gassed. And then I think Matt was like, we got fucking Tyler right here. Like, let's put him in. And instantly the team was completely different because I feel like they didn't really have a D-side presence before him. Like I felt like I was able to kind of contain both the guys with my one lane, and then if I can put Jamie on them, then I could just go down to rear side pretty freely. And then when Tyler came in, that was the first time I felt like I had somebody matching my moves. Like I went 300, he was in 300. Then I think we put Frank in the snake, and he shot 2, and then I got in the 300. I think I got a cross field shot, and we killed 3 of them. We actually killed 3 of those guys about 5 seconds apart, like boom, 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 shot 3 of them. And then Tyler might have been in the 400, I think, pretty early. And they called the towel, and Tyler's like, fuck, man. I was like, I'm up in the 400. I look over, and like 3 of my fucking bodies are gone. He's like, fuck. I'm like, yeah, that's a shitty feeling, dude. I'm like, but it's better than being the last motherfucker in the 400 and 5 guys running down the field. I'm like, so, you know what I mean? And then I think he played the last point, but we were up, I think maybe up 2, or something, and only like 44 seconds on the clock. So then we went back to our pocket play, which worked like a fucking charm all day.
Yeah, that play worked out super good every time we had to run it.
I drew it up in the pits, and I'm like, man, if everybody can stay locked into a zone. Like they physically cannot come out past the fucking 40s.
Because you couldn't get lost in that center on this field. Like if you could have, it's one of those fields that wouldn't, that locking it up that way wouldn't
you can get up in there, but the problem is you can't come through it.
Yeah.
Like especially on that play that when I was towing the double cross, like you really couldn't come through it. And if you did, you're fucking dead. And that's what happened at that point. I think they tried to push it, and we had like kill 1, kill 2, kill 3, kill 4, and we just sat there and just like shot and shot and shot. Then they pushed the issue, burnt the clock out. So then we move on to finals, and we're playing for 404 Underground, I believe.
Yep, 404. Not 404 Underground. Maybe just on. I'm looking. Hold on.
I thought that's what the name was. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's something
else. On the roster.
Oh, it's just Underground. For some reason, I was thinking it's 404 Underground.
I think there is a number. There's something with it. Anyway.
It's just Underground. So,
good team.
They played really good.
Yeah, they were undefeated as well.
Yeah, they played really good all day, and I think
they won the first one.
Yeah, beat us the first point. Came out. We adjusted. I think we won the second one. Then our third point, we were fucking around in the pits. No. I
think it was that one
because it was only a 3-1. However, it was I walked on the field and we kind of lost track of time, which is on us. But there was about 25 seconds on the clock, and I walked down the hill, and this is before the thing was buzzing, before the clock, and I yelled, I'm like, timeout, and we didn't have anybody kind of like standing at the buzzer. No. So by the time you guys would get to the buzzer, it would already be under 10 seconds.
And one of the clutch guys was holding it for us. That fucking thing, it didn't go off. That's what I was trying to say. Because
I called it in my head. I heard 20 seconds, and I said, fuck it, timeout. Yeah. And I'm yelling, I'm like, timeout. And I said it about 5 times before the 10 seconds hit. Yeah. And then we're kind of walking, and then it's like, beep. And I'm like, I know in my head, we're not getting a fucking timeout now. Yeah. The ref's just looking at me. I'm like, all right. So we start running, and we don't get up on the box.
Did we have 2 or 3 get on the box?
2, I only had 2 on the box. It was Frank and Jamie. And we killed 2 on the break.
Yeah, some Jamie, fucking how. I have no idea how they.
Well, they probably pushed the issue because they knew we only had 2 alive. And the bad thing was we had a chance of winning that point, and Jamie did not know Frank was in the Viper.
I know.
And they didn't know Frank was in the Viper. And he got in quick, and Jamie was in the 300. So we actually had the 300 and the Viper on a 2-on-5 situation.
Yeah, with killing 2 people off the break.
And Jamie was over top of 300, just like shooting everywhere. And he got shot, and then he realized Frank was alive, and he's like, "Oh fuck!" Like we had a chance of winning this point.
Because I went to go towel it immediately when the buzzer went. I was almost going to towel it instantly. That was what I went to go do. And then I looked, and I saw 2 bodies walking off. I'm like, I'm not toweling this. And like hindsight, I still wish I would have toweled it.
Yeah.
But I can't. I wouldn't make that decision in the moment. You know what I mean? Not when I just saw.
Not like, if you 2 on 2 on the break. Yeah. And we have a 300 and a Viper. I'm like, ooh. I'm in my head. I'm like, let it ride.
Yeah. And I'm looking at. I'm like, Frank's been killing it all day, and Jamie can pull out a wild play at any fucking minute. You know what I mean? Like Jamie could have ran down there and shot 3 more fucking guys, then Frank goes and hangs the flag. That could have very easily have happened.
Yes.
It didn't. But because Jamie, he was like, why didn't you guys towel? I'm like, you killed 2. I was like, I toweled once they killed you, and it was a 3-on-1. We toweled like right a fucking way, but yeah. And so that put them up.
They're up 2, and then we came back and we won a pretty quick point, and we were down by 1, but there's only like a minute and 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And we kind of tried to push. And
we had to push at that point.
Yeah, we had to push, and then we got a major on us for Dick got shot up close to being overshooting. You know what I mean? I know overshooting is a myth, but he got kind of fucked up. We weren't complaining about it, but he was pissed. More so not at the team, more so at the fact that he knew we all fucked up and pissed a point away early and threw his gun down, and that's unsafe use of equipment. So then it's an automatic major, and since it's under a minute, it's an automatic swing point. So get a swing point on us, and then it was actually only 2-3 or 3-2 on them. Yeah. So it looked like 4-2, and then there's like 10 seconds left, and Jamie's like, well, I want to go back out. And I'm like, it's only 10 seconds, dude. I'm like, let's just, it's all right. I understand where you're coming from, but I'm like, 10 seconds, and we were down by 2 is impossible. And he's like, yeah, but I'm not giving the gratitude. Like, we're gonna go out, and I'm like, all right, well, if you're going out, I'm going out. Like, it's fine. And we just strapped back up, went back out. We didn't do anything fucking stupid. We just all ran up, kind of took some bites, and and just shot from like the 40s and 50s. But
I shot a hopper in a pod in fucking 10 seconds.
Yeah, we were just gonna run the timeout. We weren't gonna like just let the clock burn at 10 and give the win up.
Yeah.
Strap the bayonets on and play.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to do it. I told him, I'm like, listen, like, don't go out here and be fucking stupid and run down the whole field and try to do an 8-man run through and get 80 put on you, get injured or fucking something stupid. I'm like, we can't win in 10 seconds. Yeah. But I don't mind going out here and then shooting what we can shoot and moving what we can move in 10 seconds. I'm 100% cool with that. But no way we're scoring 2 points in 10 seconds,
Yeah.
So, and which we did. We did fine.
Yeah. Played it out.
Took second place.
So, I mean, it was we played. You said it on your Facebook. We played lights out all day. We had one mistake.
Yep. Like, that was it.
And I've said it before. You got to play perfect paintball to win. But for the situation we were in, with not playing that layout versus a lot of teams that have grinded the fuck out of that layout.
Yes.
We did as good as I think we could. You know what I mean? Like, other than first place. There's one place better than where we did. Yep.
For not having any reps in that layout. I think we did pretty fucking well.
I've said it before. I would rather take third, and my only reasoning for this is you come off a win. Because it sucks to get handed a trophy after I just lost. Like, that's my only thing about second.
Yeah, obviously, I like the money difference.
Yeah, the money difference is nice. I mean, it's a lot of stuff, and it's nice looking at a 2 instead of a 3. But it's like, fuck, I just lost. Damn, they just won. They're taking third. Like, they're a little more happier than I am. Because that's what I told Brantley. I was like, man, I'd rather have third. And he was like, why? And I'm like, third, you come off a win, man. It just feels a little. I mean, the money's nice too.
I always take the money. So, then we move on to Sunday. So Courtney's.
Well, let me tell you about my car ride real quick.
Oh God.
So I initially had said to you, I was like, hey, I'm gonna crash with you guys again because I was kind of tired. I did not sleep well the night before, and it was like maybe 6:30, and I was like, I'm just gonna throw my shit in my truck. I can bounce. I can be home like by 11. Like between I figured I'd stop, get something to eat, take my time. I'm not busting ass like I was the first night. I was like, it'll take me probably 4.5 hours. And driving, I'm like, I gotta eat. I ain't eating all day. I'm like you. We don't fucking eat when we're playing. And I'm like fucking hungry. Now I got a headache, and I'm like, I know I'm not dehydrated because I'm pissing fucking Dasani water over here. And I went to 3 fucking places to get food. No power was in Fayetteville. So none of these fucking restaurants could take my fucking order. So I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm going to get on the road. So I get on the road, and I'm like, I'm just going to get a hotel room. I don't want to fucking do this. I called 3 hotel rooms that were like out of Fayetteville, all fucking sold out. I was an hour and a half down the road, and hotels were still fucking sold out for whatever. There's something must else been happening in Fayetteville.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, shit. Now I'm like 2 hours and 45 minutes from the house. And like, I still hadn't eaten. I finally found a Burger King, and I was like, well, I guess I'm doing this. And I ended up just fucking riding out. But I was like, who is in fucking Fayetteville? Or what is happening in fucking
Fayetteville? Could have been a graduation for the Army or something like that.
Yeah, I guess.
It happens a lot.
Because I drove by the Speedway, too. It was packed. But, I mean, it's just a dirt track. So it couldn't have been anything like NASCAR.
Oh, you know what? Somebody did say that Dale Earnhardt was doing something at one of the fucking
maybe
dirt
it was then.
Somewhere around there. I remember was talking about it. You know what? Maybe I was in Virginia or something. I don't fucking know.
Either way, it was fucking wild.
But there was some dirt track shit going on. I remember talking about that.
Maybe that's what it was then. Because I was just like, Jesus Christ. Like, it took me 5 hours on Friday. It took me about 4 hours and 15 minutes to get home on Saturday night because I was like not trying to do 80 miles an hour like I normally do.
Yeah.
But so Sunday. That's probably copywritten, isn't it? Sunday. Yeah, I probably shouldn't say that. But anyway, continue, sir.
So Sunday, the 5 guys are up, and I conned Matt from Clutch Purple, Matt the Gym Rat. Go follow him on TikTok, by the way. Blowing up.
He is blowing up.
I did not know. I knew he had 17 million and a 12 million view video, but he says he has a 41 million view video on there, and I somehow skipped that. I didn't see that.
But I thought he had one higher than that.
41 million?
I saw a 60 million.
Well, I just asked him Saturday nights.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I mean, he would know it's his shit.
Yes, but I think he said he just broke like 500K followers.
Yeah, I'm looking right now, and 522K followers is what he's broke.
It's wild. For a video of Tyler just shooting 3 pods of paint on the video, everybody's like, he's wasting paint. It's like you know what the fuck's going on.
Cool, you're following my shit now, bitch.
Yeah, thanks for the view, fuck boy. He said somebody like told Matt on there, is like, 1v1 me, and Matt's like, do you have a coin? And the kid's like, coin for what? And he's like, yeah, see, never mind. You're an idiot.
That's fucking funny.
So I got him. I asked him kind of somewhat last minute as well, because you were a giant pussy.
Yes.
About playing Sunday with her team, because you can have multiple D4 guys on a D5X ball team, and everybody there has 2 D4 fucking players on their team. So he played with her, which is good because he could play the 2 on the snake side and help out Hayden a good bit. And they were steamrolling really well. They were doing well. We had some problems early. We were up 2-0 against Crisis, and then they let a point slip by, which is fine. And then we had another point. We were fine. I think Grant came down the snake side, and Hayden just shot a guy in the tower, I think. And he looked inside instead of coming back to the wire. He stayed inside, and Grant ran down and bunkered him. And then Hayden like spun all the way around backwards and fucking shot Grant in the back. I'm like, what? No. And they were already down by like 2 bodies, so they were fine. Like we were gonna be good. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? And I was like chewing his fucking ass.
Oh, I bet.
And then they probably would have won that match. Crisis would have. But it was like a minute and 30, something like that. And our guys kind of just, I said, if we get a kill in the break, we're going to push it. If we don't get a kill in the break and not kill in the first 20 seconds, we're just going to sit. And they sat, and they slowly started getting dinked out, and they let a guy run down Dorito side, which it might have been Grant. Not really sure. And the time ran out as he was like rounding the corner to like touch the base. So it was a tie. Okay. So start off a day on a tie. And I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah, but it's a Crisis though, so.
Well, that line is kind of shit.
Okay.
Like that line loses a lot. Like, yeah. So I expected it should have been a win. Like I already had that in my head as a W. So I think they lost every other match from there on out, or maybe one more match. So I think they went like, I don't want to say they went 2-1, but or 2-1-1. I think it might have been like 1-2-1. That's what they went. So and they didn't do well last event either. I think her team 3-0'd them last time too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was kind of pissed off, and then they turned it on and they fucking steamrolled the fuck out of
United Legion. Looks like look at your wife's notes here. She said 3-0 and then she put pretty easy match. So
she said you know yeah. Yeah, she steamrolled them pretty good. They were getting killed in the break early, and her and I had a little mix. Like Hunter was playing good on the D side, and then Ryan was actually playing well on the D side. So I was kind of just floating them in and letting them go back and forth. And this was actually Steven's first event back in like I think 10 years, 12 years. Yeah, so I had him rotating back and forth with Arthur, and they were doing really well. They started getting the off break shots dialed in. The paint was fucking hard, man. Guys get beamed, go in, check, bounce. Okay, keep playing. I'm like, oh my god, dude. Third match was against King's Gold, I think, or Matrix.
She has Tantrum.
Oh, no, King's Gold played Matrix, and we were gonna play Matrix. Yeah, so Tantrum Red was it Tantrum Red? I think
he just has Tantrum.
Okay, yeah, there's two different. They're gray and a red.
Okay,
but they played down there on the grass field for the first time, and I cannot be in the pitch with them because I have to be on the little fucking red. See, this didn't happen with us.
Yeah, they didn't say anything.
It was fine. I had to be in the coaching booth where the time is, so I can call towels and fucking shit like that. Because you can't call a towel without being over there.
Yeah.
It was just fucking shit. And I talked to Scuba about this, and he apologized, and we understood. But I'm like, dude, this is the only thing about this whole shitty event. I'm like, the event was amazing. This is the one thing that fucked it all up. And he's like, I've heard it a million times. He's like, nothing we can do about it. They ran new cables and lines and connections. It was still fucked up.
Yeah, because we didn't have a screen on that field when we were playing.
So we didn't have a screen. We had a towel, though, I think.
I don't remember.
I think we had a towel right there, I think. But anyways, it wasn't working.
Yeah.
So in D5, we had to do it at the fucking scores booth way
across all the way across the fucking field.
That's where I had to stand. I couldn't make adjustments. So I was like, hey, listen, you guys are fucking big boys and girls. Like, you're going to have to make your own adjustments here. I can't help you. So for the last 2 matches of the prelims, I couldn't help them. I'm like, make your adjustments. And they played Tantrum. And
she said they won by 2 or 3. She didn't give me like a full score.
They 4-1 them, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So I think they went up 1, and then it was kind of easy, a quick point, and then Tantrum 1-1. And I noticed old fucking Twat Waffle from the NXL with the hits and the braids. That was a hit from the team.
Okay.
Was their fucking coach. Well, not.
I was like, who the fuck are you talking about?
Not the coach, should I say? But she was like trying to counter coach.
Yeah.
Well, they call the breakouts, but she would walk down the net and stand there, and then about 5 seconds, I had our guys barely touching the box at like 3 seconds. She would go to say something, and then I was like, I told my buddy, James Vaughn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was there. He showed up.
Oh yeah, he showed up like a year ago when we played there.
When he came out this time, he was hanging out, and I was like, watch this girl. I'm like, I guarantee she's about to yell what our breakout is. So I'm like waiting. I'm like, watch this. Right when she goes, stay. And right when she goes yell something, I go,
that's what I was waiting for.
Just fucking yell right over top of her. She looks at me, and I'm like smiling. So like a point later, they switch sides and they go back down there again, and we're up by like a point this time. It's like 2-1 us, and we have a different game plan going with it. We're gonna take like the Charlie early in the break.
Yeah.
And they went and like call it out, and the same thing. I just yell, I'm like, meh, like over a voice that they couldn't hear anything right before the fucking block started. I'm like, fuck you.
That's fucking funny.
I think we go up like 3-1, and they're tallying everything here, and the last point then they won pretty fucking easily. They got them.
Yeah, and, that's fucking funny.
Not the same Tantrum teams I remember. I'm not really sure if they lost a lot of members.
Yeah.
But I remember that camp being really strong
last year.
And it just did not look as strong as it
yeah, it could be a building year, man. You know what I mean? Like you said, could have lost some players to bigger teams and growing pains.
Yeah.
And
they played Kings, which we know was going to be a good match.
Yep.
Dylan, AJ, and Rex, and all those guys are on that line. And I watched Dylan play a few points earlier in the day, and he was making that route where you go around the Bravo directly into the Charlie, and then lock up, like shoot cross, and then lock up a D side with it. So I just put a gun there on the cut, and we blasted him on the break, and that stopped it. Like it never went back there again until late. First one on the break, went up there, boom, got him, and then it changed. I'm like, all right, cool. And but they ended up losing the first point too. I'm like, fuck, we threw some bodies away early.
Yeah.
I'm like, just because we got killed on the break, don't mean we can throw some bodies away, guys.
Fuck.
Like, So it went back and forth. A great match. It was a really good match. Like
that's what Courtney said. She's back and forth.
Yeah, it was like 1-1, 1-1, like back and forth, and they actually tied that one too towards the end. It was a really good match. Burned the clock out, and I was fucking with. I was on their side, so Chuck came down, and I said, if you could just stand here at the fucking booth and just give me the time, and I'll let you know on the towel, so I can go make adjustments. So I went up in the booth, and AJ was in the box, and Dylan, it was actually Dylan, AJ. I can't remember who was out there. I know definitely Rex, but they were lining up. It was like maybe 10 seconds. I'm like, dude, you guys would be really fucking nice. It was 1-2 them. They were actually up by a point.
Yeah.
So I was like, you guys would be fucking great folks if you give my wife a nice birthday present. Like one of you guys just shoot Dylan in the back of the head, or just get a major something. Be nice, man.
Yeah.
And I guess right before that, when I was back there, somebody told AJ, they're like, hey, don't let Wes get in your head. And I'm like right behind them on the dead box, like talking shit. I'm like, not talking shit, but just like fucking with them. And they're like, don't let Wes get in your head. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm good. So he goes out, gumballs in the wire, and I thought it was her, shot back at him on the outside of it and clipped him like early. He's like, fuck. So I went and seen him after the match. He's like, they told me not to let you get in my head. And then he's like, the same fucking time. He's like, I go out and get clipped. He's like, God funny. Damn it. And I'm like, that's how it works, dude.
Oh yeah.
Like, thank you. So it was like a 2-2 match there. And then I think it was like a minute left. And I told them, I'm like, they're killing the break. We're going to push it, vice versa. And they didn't. They tied that. So we went in with no losses, but a 202. I'm like, man, hope it's good enough to go in. And then AJ's like, well, I hope so. We're top 2 on the bracket.
Yeah.
Because Kings are fucking steamrolling guys too. They were like 3-0, 3-0. They were fucking steamrolling dudes. I'm like, oh fuck. So they had a great showing, and we both went in, and I was hoping we would get separated and not draw each other again. So I like to go kind of the teams, I like to see them late in the day, so you both fucking made it. You don't want to knock each other out early. And they drew Nemesis first round, and Nemesis is a pretty stacked fucking team. Like those guys are really good.
Yeah.
And if our guys aren't in it, I'm kind of, if we're not playing against them, I kind of always root for them. And I don't know if it's because all of them look old as fuck, like they're like my age. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah, like, go old guys, go.
Yeah.
I'm always like happy. But they played Kings, and I heard it was a tough. I didn't get a chance to see it. It was on the grass field. We have turf field we were playing at, so didn't get a chance to see it. But I heard it was a very close game. Like maybe, I think AJ said Nemesis won by 1, and they were pushing at the end, and they almost got a point. So, but Nemesis won. They moved on, and then we played.
You guys played the Warriors. Yep.
Yeah, I don't really know who they are because every time I turn around, the Warriors are a different fucking team.
Yeah.
I played 3 different Warriors teams.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But
Courtney said it looks like they 3-0'd them. She doesn't really remember.
Yeah, I think they might have lost. I think they lost 1 point.
Okay.
And then that was a stupid mistake. And we fixed it. Then we got up 2, and they had like 2 majors like in a row. Like a major and dude fucking playing on. Hunter was in the snake. I put Hunter in the snake this time. He went down, and they started shooting at him. So he actually back crawled all the way up to the wedge, and he's fucking tall. So he stood over the top and shot a guy who was in the Cali over the top, shot dude in the Cali, and got back down and went back to the Viper. Well, the dude in the Cali kept playing. Shit. I don't know if it was Dan or somebody ran over there, fucking boom, major. And they fucking shot him. Game over. Well, the next point, same shit. The guy goes down the snake side. We fucking clip him. And he's like playing on, and he keeps coming, and he keeps fucking playing, and shoots somebody. Boom, another fucking major. I'm like, let's fucking go. I'm talking a little shit to the net.
Yeah.
And they tally it, and I'm like, our guys are looking at me. They don't know what's going on. It was kind of early. And I'm like, another major, guys. Surprise, surprise. I'm like, cheating fucks. I'm like, I don't know those guys. I'm just like talking shit just to get in their head. You know what I mean? And we're kind of like going back and forth a little bit, and the guys, super nice guys, they said nothing back. I'm like, how the fuck you dick? Because usually they get like, I want them to say something back, they kind of get around up, but they kept it.
They'll just ignore it. They're like, fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck this guy, fucking asshole. And I think they ended up winning the last point, so like maybe 4-1 or 2-3-1. They ran tie or something.
Yeah.
Well, then they drew
Spicy Boys,
and they played really well. Young team. I've never really seen them before. I don't really know exactly who they are, but somebody said they're a bunch of Greensboro kids up there. Like, I think it's PPC or whatever that is.
Yeah.
So they played really well. You could tell they played the layout, like how they were playing it. At least they looked like they played the layout a lot. And this one dude that was going into the God, he looked slower than fucking molasses. And I watched him against 3 different teams, and he'd go to the God every time, and nobody could shoot him.
Isn't that annoying?
Nobody could shoot him. I'm like, fuck me. So we put a lane on it. We bounced on 1 time out of like 4 points. I'm like, God damn, they beat us fair and square. We got up like 1 point, and we pissed some bodies away, and then the next 2 points they beat us just flat out.
That's what Courtney has in here. She goes, Spicy Boys, we lost 3-0. She goes, we shit away the first point. She said in the second 2 points, she goes, they just straight up beat us.
Yes. So there's no contest. And then Nemesis walked through Tantrum Gray. I think that's who that was. And then they end up coming in and playing Spicy Boys. So I was kind of cheering or pulling for the Nemesis guys. And I was talking to them. I kind of, I don't want to step in, go in there and talk fucking over the coach. But they played like back and forth. And I think they were down by like 2. And the Nemesis guys did a really good snake push and wiped them up pretty fucking quick. And I was like, hey, if that guy in the red and gray jersey is on the field, he's in a gridlock jersey. I'm like, he's going to the fucking, that little wing right there, 100%. And he's like, and the coach is like, yeah, I seen that dude. He's like, we've been shooting for it. He's like, we just can't fucking get it. And Nemesis usually has really good fucking lanes.
Yeah.
He's like, we cannot fucking shoot it. And then he was on the field, and I waited, and I seen like 10 seconds, and the kid was there, and I ran back over. I'm like, hey, he's on the field, he's on the field. And then they called it, shot it, dude ran right through it again. I'm like, God damn, man.
Yeah.
Like, this motherfucker just can't get hit. Either it's just bouncing off of him every fucking time, or I don't know what's going on, but this dude is not. Because if you could shoot him, you could run down the snake side and fucking blow them all up. He was their whole fucking game plan. So I'm like, if you can kill this motherfucker, you would win.
Yeah,
I've seen tons of dudes shoot it, and he just would go right through.
And that shit annoying too.
It's a wob. And Chuck's like, well, he's just running so low. I'm like, I don't think it's that. Just the guy's got a fucking force field on him. He's running to the lane. Like, and I see people shooting it way before he's there. I'm like, I don't fucking understand this. So I think Nemesis lost by like 1 or 2, and so they did well. So I think Nemesis actually has like a first, a third or fourth, a first, and like a second. So they should have probably already locked up, more than likely locked up fucking first place finish.
Yeah, let me see. I can tell you.
Good season, yeah. I think they definitely got 2 firsts.
Oh yeah, Nemesis is first, second. So
yeah,
they probably have first locked up.
Yeah, so yeah, first should be already locked up with them, unless something fucking catastrophic happens here. But and I told fucking Matt before the day starts, because Davies actually used to play with them last season in D5, I think. Yeah. And I said those guys are really good. I'm like, they play fucking like really good ball for like you could push them into D4 and they would hold their own with some of the teams.
Yeah.
And he's like no, like they're gonna be really good. Like they were just missing playing before. He's like now they're playing a lot more, and it's like night and day. They've turned it up. So all in all, it's a pretty good event.
Yeah,
we did pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, you all beat Tantrum for third, 3-0. 3-3-0. That's what Courtney has here.
Did we play them?
Yeah, that's what she says. You had to play Tantrum.
Oh, did we? Maybe.
Yeah, you had to have.
Oh, we did. You're right.
Tantrum red.
Yeah.
So you must have played Gray earlier.
We played Gray earlier.
Yeah, Courtney says 3-0'd. Y'all won the first point. The second point, they only had 2 players make it to the box. They toweled. She said in the third point, her and Matt closed it out to win gold.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, we played because the girl was fucking coaching down there too. So I felt great to shit on them twice just for that reason. But they came out there and they had to get a towel one time because they couldn't get everybody in the box. And then that's the second point. And the third point, they traded bodies a little bit. And then Matt and Court had the luck of the fucking Irish. She had the Weston luck where she's like, look, like it's a 2-on-1. And Matt fills up into the middle snake. He's in there looking around. And the guy's in like maybe the 300, and they know someone's over there. Well, this guy goes to run her down, and she's looking inside, looking for a body, and she just switches to the outside when he's crossing like the 400 and just fucking melts this dude. His whole fucking body. He's like, he gives up. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's the old Weston look. Yeah. You could like watch Weston play. He'd be like looking at the alpha, and then you like somebody would make a move in the snake, and he would just look at the snake and go, "Oh wow, look at for easy kill." Yeah. Shoot on the side. I'm like, God damn it. That's exactly what happened. And she melted the last guy, and they talked through it, cleared the field, and got the point.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So, congratulations to Underground, then us, Carolina Black and Purple for D4X, and then it was
Clutch Purple or Clutch Black.
Yeah, Clutch Black and Clutch Purple. What did I say?
You said Carolina Black.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Carolina Clutch Black for third and Purple for fourth. And then for the D5X, it was the Spicy Boys Nemesis, then our boys, the Project X, and Tantrum Red for fourth. So it was it's been a while since we've had 2 teams take podium finishes. Yes. So, and it's that's not easy to do because it's not easy to win a tournament, let alone have 2 teams in 2 divisions bring home some little bit of hardware.
Had a chance at the last MVPS. We had a chance.
We did because I was gonna say this earlier. I've said that it's really weird. I hop on these podcasts and I go, we played really fucking good all day, and then it's like you look at the MVPS, it's like 8th place, and it's like but like we beat the shit out of everybody all fucking day long, like, and then we lost one match like 3-2, like, So that's how this was. And he's like, we really played pretty good all day, and then had one mistake and cost us first place. I wonder what their cash prize was.
It's gotta be like $2,000, probably.
Yeah, it gotta be like $2,000, and then probably third was probably $1,200. Yeah, roughly.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's awesome. Did you have anything else, sir?
I think that's it.
No, just a good old CPSL recap, huh?
Yep.
All right. Well, I will take us out of here then. Thanks for listening, watching. I haven't checked the merch store, so I have no idea if anybody bought anything, to be completely honest. We broke 5K like 2 weeks ago, actually. We're well over that now. We're close to.
And that's not including YouTube views, right?
Yeah, that does not include YouTube views. Yeah. That is literally just downloads. That's only here. It misses something else too. I'd have to add it all up. But yeah, that's just bus route downloads, I believe. But yeah, so thanks for listening and watching. Good luck to all teams at CPSL. There's some MVPSs coming up. Good luck to those teams as well, and we will catch y'all on the next one.
Later, boys.
Boom.